Seven major automakers are pledging at least $1 billion to build a new electric vehicle charging network. The companies, which include GM, BMW, Mercedes, and Stellantis, say that they plan to install at least 30,000 chargers around the country. However, the plan could be complicated by the looming threat of an auto worker strike as unionized employees head into negotiations with Detroit car manufacturers. So Bloomberg News Detroit Bureau Chief David Welch is joining us now to talk a little bit more about the new charger network that is being planned and what it means for automakers and also, I guess, for drivers, too. Thanks for joining us. So what's kind of interesting about this group of seven, if you will, is that it doesn't include any of the solely electric car makers like Tesla, Rivian. It's the automakers in Detroit. Tell me about, what that says about these companies and the way they're viewing the future.
Tesla has its own charging network, which they built up over the past decade because Elon Musk realized as he was basically forging the entire electric vehicle industry, there weren't enough chargers out there, especially on the highway system. And he's a very pragmatic guy and a very aggressive CEO. And he just said, okay, fine, we'll build our own. And you've seen companies, you've seen General Motors, Ford, and others join onto their network. But the car companies have realized that if they're going to get people to buy EVs, they really have to build out the network of chargers. And that's the fast chargers that can get you a lot more juice in your battery fast. They have to build it out very aggressively, especially on the highways. That's the big holdup for everyone buying an EV is they're afraid they'll be out on a road trip and they'll run out of juice and be stranded somewhere.
Yep, range anxiety is real. Is this also kind of good news for people who drive Teslas, though? Because I know with Tesla, you can get an attachment. So is this good news for them as well?
It is. It's actually good news for everybody because what they said is the chargers will all have the NACS charger, which is Tesla's, and the CCS charger, which was the industry standard that very few chargers had because Tesla's network was so much bigger. But no matter what you have, no matter what EV you buy, you'll be able to go and use these chargers because they're adapted for both.
So is there a timeline at all, or is this just sort of a promise?
It's a promise. I think they'll do it because they kind of have to.
Right.
All of these companies are investing billions of dollars to build all these electric vehicles. And if they can't sell them because there aren't enough chargers, they have a big problem. And for these companies, seven companies combining on $1 billion, that's a relatively small investment for them.
Yeah. So here's what I find so interesting about this. As you know, this is a kind of a bit of a sticking point when it comes to the auto unions and the companies. And they're in a the auto manufacturers are in a similar situation that, funnily enough, you see Hollywood studios in. The future is this new technology, right? It's electric, but it requires a huge investment and not an immediate payoff. They are in the middle of negotiating with union workers about salaries. These electric vehicles take fewer people to build an electric vehicle, but also there's a conversation about moving forward when you're talking about building batteries. Are these people auto workers or are they going to be tech workers? Can you talk about kind of the conundrum that the auto manufacturers find themselves in as they try to plan for the future?
Sure. So it's not necessarily a done deal that there will be fewer people making EVs than making internal combustion vehicles today. General Motors has said they don't necessarily buy that. The big issue really is the battery workers. So over time, you will have people who work in plants that make engines and transmissions and probably even exhaust systems being replaced or losing their jobs, but you will have hiring in plants that make electric motors and, more importantly, batteries. And the battery plants don't pay as much as assembly plants do right now. So General Motors and their partner LG of Korea, they've got a plant in Ohio that starts at $15.50 an hour and goes up to $20 an hour over 7 years. Union auto workers at GM plants make $32 an hour as a top hourly wage. So that's what the union's really upset about. They kind of see battery plants as setting back manufacturing pay. And that will be one of the big fights over the next couple of months as they hammer out a new 4-year labor agreement. And that's the real issue right there. It's not necessarily that workers will be hired to do something differently. It's that they aren't getting paid as much of them.
So, recently we saw Tesla drop the prices on a number of their models. And now GM initially said that it was going to be phasing out some of the best selling and cheapest electric vehicles that it had. It's reversing course. It's bringing back the Chevy Bolt. With Tesla, as I understand it, the idea was to get as many Teslas out there as possible. Do we know what the strategy is for, say, a GM or some of these more traditional automakers to figure out the balance, to figure out how to remain profitable while moving on to this next option?
Yeah, look, it's tough to make money on electric vehicles, and the reason Tesla has is because they charge so much money for it. And one of the things that's pressured their stock, which has had a pretty good year but still down since last fall, is investors are worried that they're giving away too much pricing and you can't make money on EVs.
Hmm.
Over time, you'll see the cost of batteries come down, which will make it a bit easier for everyone to make money on these. In the interim, the president's Inflation Reduction Act is giving these companies thousands of dollars in incentives per car to help make up that profit shortfall. And that's where they're going to have to do it. The only company that's really pushing affordable EVs at the moment is General Motors. They've got the Chevy Bolt, which sells for about $30,000, which among new cars that run on anything that's a pretty cheap car these days.
Mm-hmm.
And they are talking about other vehicles that'll sell for about 30,000 as well. The Chevy Equinox being another one. The others are still looking at more expensive vehicles. Tesla has talked about a cheaper EV, but they really haven't announced when they would do that. I suspect it's years away because they're just getting their Cybertruck pickup truck into production now.
Mm-hmm.
So really, for sort of a mass market electric vehicle for your average American consumer, probably the Chevy Bolt is the only thing really going at the moment.
I tell you, watch this space. I think you're going to be doing a lot of reporting on this. It's very interesting to me. David Welch, thank you very much.
Thank you.